fact, I was actually in Egypt after I finished grad school with my mom on a mommy daughter trip for a week. And we did an amazing cruise on the Nile from Luxor towards Aswan. And because of a tourist scare at the time in Cairo, we weren't able to go to Cairo. And I always promised myself that I would return. And there's this saying that those that drink from the Nile, something to the effect of they always come back. And so here I am. Back then, I also visited Hurghada, although I did not visit Sal Hashish. And I'm super grateful to be in this beautiful place. Definitely check out my videos on my YouTube channel. So back to travel to Egypt. So depending on what country you have your passport from, you will likely have a visa required. Disclaimer, check out the information on visa2egypt.gov.eg, hashtag not sponsored yet. As a Polish born woman, slash also half Bulgarian, with a dual citizenship from the United States, I became naturalized when I was 21. I am required as of 2024 to have a visa, and Egypt makes it pretty easy when you arrive. Either you can do a visa on arrival and pay the $25 currently, or you can do what I did, which is go to www.visa2 with the number egypt.gov.eg and set up my visa online and paid the $25 directly through their government site a week ago. Now, currently, that gives you a visa that's valid for use within 90 days from issuance. However, you can stay up to 30 days. So I wanted to extend my visa in different blogs and different posts that I found and reviews on the immigration site in Hurghada is you likely had to go one time and be there by 7 a.m. because they issue like 100-ish tickets for the day and potentially end up staying hours to the day with, different lines, the application, and potentially have to return the next day. And currently, they are also requiring that you have your currency translation either stamped from a bank, if it's directly from cash and or an ATM. And I believe that is likely due to the black market currency conversions of 50 to 1 versus 30 to 1 currently. So another fun fact. So I decided I wasn't going to extend my visa, likely come back another time to visit Sharm el Sheikh and or Mount Sinai, Moses' mountain, and or Santa Katrina on the other side of the coast. And so for this trip, I visited Hurghada, Sal Hashish, Luxor again for the second time in my life, and Cairo for the first time. So definitely check that out. So let me know if you have plans to travel to Egypt. It is absolutely amazing with ancient civilizations dating back 3,000, 7,000 plus years. Some speculate 10,000 plus years. The brilliance that the Egyptians did thousands of years BC, then on before Christ, and then thousands, we're in 2024. So it's mind-boggling of what was done with places like Karnak Temple or the Giza pyramids and the incredible Red Sea. It is absolutely a must and bucket list worthy for your lifetime. As someone that's now been here twice, definitely check out some of my videos, my recommendations on how to travel here. Hit that subscribe button and let's create. Welcome to my channel. I'm Katrina Julia. I am a multi-passionate entrepreneur, traveler, creator, and CEO of CREATEIT, where we help creators and CEOs who crave creating community and cash to create it like a boss. So let's talk about safety in Egypt and how I felt and how I feel as a solo female traveler here, single on my own. is, you guys, one, I ended up choosing a place within Sal Hashish, which is a luxury slash protected compound with definitely with numerous hotels, numerous developments. You can see several behind me. I'm staying in Azura Red Sea, and what I was going to mention is definitely check out my video where I talk about Sal Hashish and my top 10 on my channel and on my blog and show that's coming soon. So, one, I mentioned that like where I'm staying. Two, use common sense. Don't go off somewhere on your own late at night and or with someone that maybe you don't know or don't get a good vibe. And then one of the things I always do anytime I travel, whether it's with a group or on my own, I let someone else know. So for example, when I had even drivers that were connected to tours pick me up, I would let the team here know. And then also, when they come here, they have to go through 2 security gates. And side note, this is the Red Sea behind me. Isn't it amazing? And speaking of, the other thing I wanted to mention is talk about tours. So compared to different countries, for example, in Cyprus, if you haven't checked out my Cyprus series, definitely check that out. I rented a car for a whole month. I went pretty much everywhere on my own. I didn't get any excursions. I spent about 2 weeks when my mom came. I checked out the itineraries and different things, and I could have definitely done that to some degree here, like with visiting Cairo or Luxor. However, with the culture and some of the approaches and some of the customs, is I knew from also traveling to Egypt before, if I went on a solo trip by myself to Luxor and or to Cairo, I would likely get harassed a lot more, especially as a foreigner, especially as a blonde. And I say harassed lightly because even when it happened in Luxor, a different place, I feel like it's always done kindly or respectfully, and I simply say la shokrem, which means no thank you. Speaking of words and speaking of Arabic, I believe anywhere you go to any country, it's really, really respectful to learn at least a couple of words.
Put that body on me. I'm coming now, follow my lead. I'm coming now, follow my lead. On I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. I don't wanna know. Can't put us down, I guess, and they always be smoking like a rock star. I do the same thing I told you that I never would. Told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore.
Here in Egypt with both work and activities. You may be curious, like if you decide to travel to Egypt as an entrepreneur, as a someone that works remote, as a creator CEO. So what I typically did is sometimes I had Sundays off. Sometimes I would focus on my Sundays on my primary project, like the one that I'm focusing right now that's giving me the most impact, which is one-on-one brand engagements and any work aligned to that. Then the second thing is typically anything to do with my retreats. And then third, it is with courses. So for example, my top 3 goals for 2024 are: number 1, reach with aligned brands and creators $300,000 to $1 million in 2024. Number 2, scale 10x so that I'm freeing up my time. Freedom is one of my core values. So I'm always thinking about freedom, obviously. And then number 3, travel to 12 countries. And you guys, number 2 and number 3 are definitely already aligned and already happening and exceeding. Number 1 is like right there. So I'm super excited. Definitely check out my Creator to CEO videos and Create with Me coming up soon, where I talk even more about that. And so what I did is, so that was typically my Sundays and or Mondays. And then my Tuesdays are like my launch days, where I'm aligning like the business to business outreach with email marketing, with blogs, with shows, and with social media. which then leads me to that is typically also when I create content. Although a lot of times I create content fluidly, like today I'm integrating it. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically my meeting days too. So typically my Tuesdays and Thursdays look the same, and they did pretty much here all month.
Así que dale pom 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 pom, ponle carne a mi sazón, son 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 son, chócate eso con mi bom 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 bom, perdemos el control para ganarlo. Oh my
goodness. Wednesdays were pretty much a flex day, meaning like sometimes I would get some work done. I would clear out, speaking of clearing, emails. Typically, I have my emails on a schedule with a boomerang, and I would let them come in like Monday afternoon, clear them out, and then the same thing on Tuesday afternoons, which in Egypt, my Tuesday afternoon is East Coast morning, as an example. Wednesdays, typically, I didn't get into email at all unless it was to like clear out growth, my growth folders or something like that. Thursdays, I typically in the afternoon. Fridays, typically not at all. Saturdays, typically not at all, unless it's in the afternoon, just to give you a gauge. And then learning activities are usually like right before or right after clearing. Then the other thing I wanted to mention is, last but not least, is fun and tours while I was in Egypt. So as I mentioned, I opted to do some things on my own, like walk on the beaches, sal hashish. There's a snorkel spot here that I went to. But then a lot of times, just for simplicity, ease, being cost effective, it included transportation on all my tours, you guys, with Get Your Guide.
Camera ready, action. Yeah, I do it like lights, camera ready, action. Do you know what I mean?
The other thing I was just reminded you guys is if you want to say like something's good, say tamam. Or you can say like if something's like 100% and like super great, mea mea. It just reminded me when I was talking to someone, so I thought I'd mention it. It easier all around. So for example, with the way that I typically did it was Wednesdays and or Fridays, I did adventures. And Wednesday, for example, my first Friday here, I ended up going scuba diving. So definitely check out that video where I show a lot of the scuba diving and a lot of the behind the scenes. Then the following week, I ended up going on a Wednesday. Actually, this was Valentine's Day. I ended up going to a hammam, which is a spa, and had a massage that was heavenly, you guys. Then that Friday, sorry, let me back up. So my first Friday, I went scuba diving. My second Friday, I went to an incredible desert adventure with a Bedouin village, with quads / ATVs, with a dune buggy, and a dinner and a show. So definitely check out those two videos. Then the following week, which was Valentine's week / Galentine's, I ended up going to the Hammam, which was amazing. Then that Friday, I went to Luxor, woke up on a 4 a.m. to go with Get Your Guide. And that's the thing, you guys, getyourguide.com. And you can find their links to the specific activities I did in my top 10 Egypt, top 10 things to do on the blog and on the show. Is the transportation you could add on with their operators for like $5 typically. So it made sense to where I knew like transportation's included. It's with a trusted source that has thousands of reviews. I'll be with a group and make new friends, which I 100% did with the scuba diving, then with the desert adventure, the hammam, and then that the following Friday, after Valentine's, I went to Luxor, so definitely check out that video and my Instagram reels and shorts. And then I ended up deciding to go to Paradise Island this past Monday. And I purposely did even more work on Saturday and Sunday. So I knew that I would have more than enough time to integrate it. And now I'm headed, yesterday I worked at the Airbnb. And then this evening, I'm heading to Cairo on Go Bus via an executive slash business class. And I've read reviews from different bloggers that are amazing. And then I'll be in Cairo tomorrow morning. So definitely check out my Cairo videos, you guys. I am going to, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, everybody. I'm going to the Mina House, which is famous historically for so many reasons and with incredible views of the pyramids. Then I am planning to go to the Egyptian Museum. Then the Khalili Market Thursday afternoon. Friday is going to start off with the pyramids, and I aligned to an incredible experience on Airbnb with a photographer all day. Then I'm headed to the Egyptian Civilization Museum. And then I'm closing off the day with an incredible sunset cruise along the Nile via Airbnb experiences too. So super, super grateful. Definitely check out those videos. And so you can see typically Wednesdays and or Fridays were my adventure days. And beyond that, I, went on walks to the beach, to the pool, and it definitely made sure I also made purpose a priority. So drop any other questions down below, and definitely check out my creator, CEO, creative videos, and the rest of my videos on Egypt travels. And I'm pinching myself because Abu Dhabi a stopover, and then Thailand is next. So let's create it. Hit subscribe on that button to Limitless Global Girl, and let's create it and be limitless.